They say silence can hit harder than screaming ever could, and when I walked away, that's exactly what I carried with me. No shouting, no arguments, no desperate promises. Just stillness. When I discovered my wife's affair, something inside me didn't explode. It simply stopped. A quiet, cold ending, the kind you feel deep in your chest where no one else can see. It was a regular Tuesday, nothing unusual. I got home early. The house was dim, too quiet. That kind of quiet that makes your instincts tighten. Her phone was sitting on the kitchen counter, lit up with a message that said, "Can't wait to see you again." My stomach dropped, but my hands didn't even shake. I unlocked her phone, and the truth was all right there. Messages, pictures, hotel confirmations, words I thought were meant only for me. I didn't confront her. Not right away. I sat in the living room for hours staring at our wedding picture. Once that smile on her face meant something real. Now it felt like a memory covered in dust, fake, faded. When she finally came home, humming like the world was perfect, I just handed her the phone. Unlocked. "You left this," I said quietly. She looked at the screen. Her whole face drained like her blood vanished. She tried to talk, but I stopped her. "You don't have to explain. I had read enough." She began crying, stumbling through excuses. How she felt lonely, how we drifted apart, how she didn't intend for it to happen. I listened, but inside I was already gone. "I'm not angry," I said truthfully. "I'm just finished." I packed a small bag that same night. When she realized I meant it, panic took over her voice. She grasped at my hands, begging, shaking. "Please, we can fix this. You broke something that doesn't get repaired," I told her gently. And then I walked out, no shouting, no dramatic goodbye. Just the soft sound of the door closing. Life on my own was strange at first. Quiet, lonely, but clean. I learned to cook for myself, to sleep in the center of the mattress, to breathe without waiting for someone to come home. I focused on work. Took up woodworking again. Helped my brother rebuild his porch every weekend. One day, without realizing it, I stopped hurting. A year went by. I hadn't seen or heard from her since, until one night, close to midnight. The knock on my door was soft at first, then urgent. When I opened it, she stood there looking like a shadow of the woman I used to love. Hair messy, makeup streaked, eyes swollen and red. "Can I come in?" she asked, barely above a whisper. I stepped aside. She wandered inside, clutching a tissue like it was the only thing holding her together. "I didn't know where else to go," she said. I leaned against the counter silently while she scanned the room. The new furniture, the photos from my solo hikes, the life I built without her. "It's different here," she murmured. "Yeah," I said. "I'm different too." She let out a shaky breath. I made the biggest mistake of my life. I didn't offer comfort. I didn't tell her it was okay. I just let her words exist. "You don't have to say that for my sake," I replied. "I'm not," she insisted. "He left months ago. Said I was too emotional. Too much. And I kept thinking maybe I deserve this." She looked up at me with eyes full of regret. "But I miss you. I miss what we had." There was a time those words would have shattered me. Now they just echoed without weight. "You miss the version of me who tolerated things I shouldn't have," I said quietly. She winced. "That's not fair." "It's the truth." We stood in silence. The clock ticked in the corner. Finally, she whispered, "I thought you'd hate me." "I did," I admitted. "But hate fades. One day you just wake up and stop expecting an apology." She stepped closer, hesitating. "Do you ever think about us?" "Sometimes," I answered. "But mostly I think about how much I shrank trying to keep us together. And how I'm never going back to that version of myself." She nodded, tears falling again. "I'm not asking for another chance. I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I ruined something good." "You did," I said calmly. That's when she broke, really broke. She sobbed until her knees shook. And I felt something shift inside me. Not love. Not anger. Just closure. The kind that comes when the person who hurt you stops being a villain and becomes just a flawed human being. I handed her a glass of water. She took it without meeting my eyes. "You look happy," she whispered. "I am," I said. "Not because I stopped loving you, but because I started loving myself." The silence that followed wasn't painful. Felt like peace. When she finally headed toward the door, she paused and looked back. You really moved on, didn't you? Yeah, I said softly. And I hope someday you will too. Her eyes filled again. You were the only person who ever made me feel safe. Then she walked out. I stood in the quiet for a long moment, listening to the fading sound of her car. Then I closed the door the same way I left her a year earlier, gently without a word. Some endings don't need chaos. Sometimes the quiet is enough. Sometimes the silence is the closure.